Good evening and welcome to the main news today, the 31st of October 2025. To present the main news, my name is Trace Mwansa. A look at the top stories making headlines. Teacher union concern over teachers' date, and ECZ and UNDP launch Deepening Democracy projects. Cabinet approves 20 bills for consideration. And now the news in detail. Mwemba urges road users to avoid drunk driving. Eastern Province Commanding Officer Robertson Mwemba cautioned road users against drinking and driving and advised them to take rest if they feel tired. In an interview, Mr. Mwemba emphasized that drivers should prioritize their safety on the roads. He highlighted a specific concern related to the Great East Road, noting that it has many curves and therefore drivers should exercise caution. This warning is particularly relevant given the recent accidents in the area. Mr. Mwemba made these remarks during a visit at the scene of the accident that occurred on Wednesday in the Kacholola area of Nimba district. His comments underscores the importance of road safety and responsible driving practices.
We, the Civil Society Elections Integrity Forum Zambia, would like to express our deep concern over the Electoral Commission of Zambia's handling of the ongoing voter registration exercise. The registration of only 2,080 votes during the phase 1 is alarming low and represents just a small fraction of eligible voters. We urge the ECZ to take this process with the seriousness it deserves. At this rate, we are compelled to conclude that the Commission is not adequately prepared to conduct credible and fair elections in 2026. We echo the statements of President Hichilema and other stakeholders regarding the persistent breakdown of ECZ voter registration improvement. These technical failures are slowing down in the process and undermining public confidence. We, the Civil Society Elections in Forum Zambia, would like to call the ECZ to urgently address these operational challenges and ensure that more citizens are captured in the upcoming phases. We also call upon for an extension of the voter registration exercise until the end of December 2025. Further, public awareness has been extremely poor. Many Zambians are unaware or where or how to register due to lack of IEC materials. We further appeal to the ECZ Commissioner Chairperson and Commissioners to take decisive leadership and hold ECZ management accountable. The current state of affairs is unacceptable and demands an immediate corrective action. Additionally, we call on the Ministry of Home Affairs, particularly the Department of National Registration of NRCs, to release district-level NRCs statistics to the ECZ. Withholding such critical data hampers the Commissioner's ability to plan effective and borders on the institutional sabotage. Finally, we encourage all eligible Zambians to participate in the voter registration process. Voting is not only a constitutional right, but also a vital opportunity to shape the future of our country. We urge citizens to obtain their national registration card and register as voters to avoid being disqualified in the 2026 general elections. Issued by Solomon Ngoma, Chairperson for the Civil Society Elections Integrity Forum and also Executive Director for IPAC. Thank you.
Democracy is not a destination, but a process requiring constant renewal.
Civil Society Elections Integrity Forum Zambia raises concerns over ECZ's poor handling of voter registration exercise. The Civil Society Elections Integrity Forum Zambia expresses deep concerns over the Electoral Commission of Zambia handling the ongoing voter registration exercise. The registration of only 280 voters during phase 1 is alarmingly low and represents just a small fraction of the eligible population. We urge the ECZ to take this process with the seriousness it deserves at this rate. We are compelled to conclude that the Commission is not adequately prepared to conduct a credible and fair election in 2026.
We, the Civil Society Elections Integrity Forum Zambia, would like to express our deep concern over the Electoral Commission of Zambia's handling of the ongoing voter registration exercise. The registration of only 200,080 votes during the phase 1 is alarming low and represents just a small fraction of eligible voters. We urge the ECZ to take this process with the seriousness it deserves. At this rate, we are compelled to conclude that the Commission is not adequately prepared to conduct a credible and fair elections in 2026. We echo the statements of President Agnes and other stakeholders regarding the persistent breakdown of ECZ voter registration equipment. These technical failures are significant slowing down in the process and undermining public confidence. We, the civil society elections in Forum Zambia, would like to call the ECZ to urgently address these operational challenges and ensure that more citizens are captured in the upcoming phases. We also call upon for an extension of the voter registration exercise until the end of December 2025. Further, public awareness has been extremely poor. Many Zambians are unaware or where or how to register due to lack of IEC materials. We further appeal to the ECZ Commissioner Chairperson and Commissioners to take decisive leadership and hold ECZ management accountable. The current state of affairs is unacceptable and demands an immediate corrective action. Additionally, we call on the Ministry of Home Affairs, particularly the Department of Personal Registration of NRCs, to release district-level NRC statistics to the ECZ. Withholding such critical data hampers the Commissioner's ability to plan effective and borders on the institutional sabotage. Finally, we encourage all eligible Zambians to participate in the voter registration process. Voting is not only a constitutional right, but also a vital opportunity to shape the future of the country. We urge citizens to obtain.
The Minister of Information and Media Chief Government spokesperson Cornelius Muitwa says Cabinet has approved a number of bills to be tabled in current sitting of Parliament for approval. He says decision made by Cabinet at the 20th Cabinet meeting held on Wednesday, 29th October 2025, includes the Independence Broadcasting Authority Bill 2025, the Zambian National Broadcasting Corporation Bill 2025, the Criminal Procedure Code Amendment Bill 2025, the Anti-Corruption Amendment Bill 2025. He says once approved, the bills will be able to enhance service delivery to the general public and the nation at large. He also revealed that IBA doesn't regulate the newspaper print media as it does not fall under its mandate and as called on the owners of the newspapers to be professional as they operate.
So the President of the Republic of Zambia, called for the 20th Cabinet meeting in the year 2025 on Wednesday, 29th October 2025 at State House to deliberate on the following legislative matters with a view to enhancing socio-economic development of the nation. The Zambia National Broadcasting Corporation Bill 2025. Cabinet approved for publication and introduction of the bill in Parliament during the current sitting entitled the Zambia National Broadcasting Corporation Bill 2025. The objects of the bill are to continue the existence of the Zambia National Broadcasting Corporation and redefine its function, reconstitute the board of the Zambia National Broadcasting Corporation and redefine its functions and provide for the imposition, payment and collection of a broadcast levy going forward. It is also expected that once these amendments go through, ZNBC should be accountable to the citizens in terms of its content. Presently, and this is very important, presently, we have a broadcaster whose main news is so restricted that where they are supposed to make the most important point for the nation to hear, they will cut because they have squeezed so many items within a few minutes so that they leave enough room to do adverts for them to make money for their commercial viability. This is expected to be a thing of the past. The Criminal Procedure Code Amendment Bill 2025. The object of the bill, among others, to provide for the forensic criminal proceedings, make defilement, rape, incest, stock theft, stealing medicines, medical supplies, cotton, copper, diamond, gold, railway, aircraft, vertical signalization installation with associated facilities and installations, distribution systems, transmission systems, vessels, traffic sign, and navigation mark non-bailable. The Anti-Corruption Amendment Bill 2025. In winding up debate for the day, Cabinet approved for publication and introduction of a bill in Parliament during the current sitting entitled the Anti-Corruption Amendment Bill 2025, so as to align the current legislation with the objective of the national policy on anti-corruption and the Constitution, and strengthen the legal framework for countering corruption, and further enhance corporate governance of the Anti-Corruption Commission. Let me also take this opportunity to let our citizens know, as a matter for which I have received numerous concerns by citizens relating to print media, namely the Times of Zambia, the Daily Mail, Diggers newspaper, Mask newspaper, and all other such tabloids, Daily Nation, that the conduct of business of print media in Zambia currently, like it has been, is not regulated by and not subject to the authority of the Independent Broadcasting Authority. Many citizens, when they see some TV station misrepresent facts or publish or publicize or broadcast certain statements which are deemed an affront.
Dynamic Teachers of Zambia Executive President Richard Mwitwa says the organization has noted with concern at the level of teachers' indebtedness in the country. He says just last over teachers committed suicide due to debt. He has since called on the government to introduce financial lending institutions that are managed by government so that teachers can borrow at a reduced rate, unlike the current situation, where teachers are borrowing at more than 40% beyond the stipulated lending rate. He says the organization has engaged teachers on financial literacy as they are aware of the borrowing and how they can use their finances without falling into a web of debt.
We cannot, as a union, sit and look at our members who are highly indebted committing suicide, like the case was last year where we lost 12 teachers due to indebtedness. Indeed, that is too high a number to lose human resource, and as a union, we are seriously engaged in trying to find solution to this teacher indebtedness. Government has put a law, a threshold of 40%, that no one should go beyond the 40%. But we've seen people borrowing and they are in negatives. And lending institutions allow teachers to borrow going beyond the agreed threshold. Where is the problem? From going beyond the threshold, because the 40% allows them to have a breather and a takeaway home so that they can feed their families, their members, and so on and so forth. Not whereby a teacher is in negatives. How do you expect them to survive? These are cases that are leading to suicide cases. We urge our teachers to be disciplined, and in most cases, if they get loans for whatsoever purposes, we want to appeal that let those monies they get be used in productive things which will multiply the money so that
the Electoral Commission of Zambia and UNDP launched Deepening Democracy project ahead of 2026 elections. Electoral Commission Chairperson Mwangala Zalomis says the Commission remains committed to providing free and credible elections in the upcoming general elections in 2026. She said this when she officiated at the launch of the Deepening Democracy project by United Nations Program, UNDP, in Lusaka. Meanwhile, United Nations Country Resident Representative Dr. James Wakiaga says the organization remains committed to supporting the growth of democracy and freedoms of the marginalized groups such as the disabled, youths, and the women. The project is expected to run from 2026 to 2027, respectively.
Democracy is not a destination, but a process requiring constant renewal, vigilance, and inclusive engagement. It is a process that is fraught with tensions, contestations, and disagreements, all being part of the desire to shape and define the most desirable pathway to democratic development. There is recognition that even the most enduring democracies must continue to evolve, reform, and transform to meet citizens' expectations for transparency, accountability, and meaningful participation. The 2026 general elections present both a challenge and an opportunity to consolidate democratic gains and to demonstrate that Zambia's democracy is resilient, inclusive, and forward-looking. The project therefore seeks to help Zambia prepare as well as to organize elections that are credible, transparent, peaceful, and inclusive. Elections in which every vote counts and every voice matters. Allow me to highlight 4.
The basket funds governance structures, such as the technical and steering committee, have safeguarded government leadership while fostering mutual partnerships, shared ownership, accountability of outcomes, and constructive dialogue among project partners. It is for this reason that such a proven track record assures the stakeholders, such as ECZ, government, and cooperative partners, of reliability.
Democracy is not a destination.
The Technical Vocation and Education Entrepreneurship Training Authority, TEDT, has emphasized the importance of investing in technicians to ensure the sustainability of energy projects. Addressing journalists in Chikankata District during the closing of a 3-day media training, TEDT Corporate Affairs Manager Clive Sachiako noted that without skilled technicians, projects can fail due to lack of maintenance and repair. According to Mr. Sachaiko, Kafue Gorge Regional Training Center can play a critical role in developing the necessary skills for the energy sector, including technicians and media professionals. He further highlighted the importance of accurate information and addressing misinformation, especially in the energy sector. And Kafue Gorge Regional Training Center Head Communications, Marketing and Business Development, Karisto Chitamfia, emphasized the importance of skills development and training in line with government's Vision 2030. Mr. Chitamfia highlighted the need for awareness about available funding and sponsorship opportunities for skills training.
In the absence of proper information, there's a lot of mischief and also misinformation takes precedent. Kafue Gorge has benefited from the TEDT Fund for a very long time. Actually, part of the investment that have been done here went towards the procurement of equipment for this training facility. And then we will then develop, we work together to develop a program that addresses the energy misinformation and information gaps, as you are putting it, so that then we start speaking to the media houses, either through their associations or professional bodies, and bring them forth here, so that we can develop a cadre of journalists who are very competent to report about energy issues, who can ask the right questions, the policymakers, who can also enlighten citizens. Because I know sometimes, I remember where I live, someone's house was burnt because they had a gas cylinder, and I know within the energy mix there's an issue of LPG gas, which for some time we have not trained proper technicians in LPG gas installation. But it's one of the curricula that TEVETA has now developed to ensure that we have got competent and people who can really install LPG gas facilities in a proper manner to prevent accidents and to ensure that whatever we are doing, we increase uptake of LPG gas, or LPG, so to say, in the country.
But very few people know where to go to get the funding or the sponsorships. So we as Kafego Junior Training Center take this as a very noble and serious initiative, and we thank you for coming to Kafego Junior Training Center. We continue to be your partners because we know that we are dealing with skills development and skills training for the entire country. This is part of government's Vision 2030 to enhance skills development because it's important for the country. I have heard the appeal that Kafego reaches out to other TEVETA institutions in terms of benchmarking, so that they can also come to our level. And I'm happy that you appreciate the quality that you see here. Indeed, we can boast that we have the highest quality you can think of in terms of skills training, in terms of energy training, because it's a whole system. ISO certified.
The Patent and Companies Registration Agency, PACRA, conducted a one-day school club teachers training workshop that equipped teachers from various schools with knowledge on intellectual property. Speaking during the opening of the training, PACRA Deputy Registrar Intellectual Property, Mr. Chilufya, called on participants to make use of the workshop to fully understand intellectual property as a whole. Mr. Chilufya revealed that the training will enable teachers pass on the knowledge to their students.
So the Patents and Companies Registration Agency is embarking on a project where we want to introduce intellectual property clubs in various schools, secondary schools for a start. And as part of that program, what we've done is that we've brought together a team of teachers from secondary schools that are based here in Lusaka to train them in intellectual property, so that after the training, they can then spearhead the creation of IP clubs in the schools where they teach. So we have teachers who've been brought together from Highland Secondary School, from Rhodes Park School, from David Kaunda Technical Secondary School, from Kasisi Girls Secondary School, as well as from Lusaka Girls Secondary School. So the purpose of training teachers and the purpose of introducing IP in secondary schools is to ensure that we have pupils at an early stage who understand intellectual property, who understand the value of intellectual property and the value of commercialization of intellectual property. So when you create, you come up with an invention, an innovation, or any particular work which can be protected by intellectual property, you need to realize the value that is in protecting that intellectual property and in ensuring that it is commercialized. It just doesn't end at creating. So it is important for us to have pupils have this knowledge and then ultimately ensure that the knowledge that they have is translated into results. So you'll be glad to know that this is part of a project where the schools will then be involved in a competition and the winning school will get.
And now a look at the top stories making headlines once again. Teachers Union concern over teachers' deaths, and ECZ and UNDP launch Deep Democracy projects. Cabinet approves 20 bills for consideration. And on that item, it brings us to the end of the news. My name is Trace Mwansa. Stay tuned.
The Electoral Commission of Zambia will be conducting mass voter registration across the country from the 13th of October to the 11th of November 2025. If you are 18 years and above, a Zambian citizen and in possession of a Green National Registration Card, NRC, you qualify to register. If you registered in 2020 or during continuous registration of voters and you still have a voter's card, you don't need to register again. During this registration period, ECZ will be providing the following services: new registrations of lost, destroyed or defaced voters' cards, transfer